Martinez Wonderlands is releasing in a week from now, March 25th, 2022. Mark the date and be ready. I wish I could play the game right now, but I can't, and here I am making some content that hopefully helps some of you out there. Hopefully those videos I'm making and some of the others would help you figure out whether a class A or class B or whatever class is your cup of tea. This one is for the Stabbomancer. Is the Stabbomancer something you might enjoy? Well, hopefully the video clears things up. Stabbomancers are sneaky, critical hit focused assassins who summon magic whirling blades to the battlefield and disappear into the shadows at will. Look, Stabbomancy isn't really its own school of magic, it's a way of thinking. Specifically, how do I stab that guy? Up close with a dagger in the dark? A well-aimed bullet from afar? Or even an ethereal psychic ghost sword? The thing is, Stabbomancers are all about creating and capitalizing on opportunities. Jacks of all trades, masters of none, the skillful Stabbomancer exploits foes' weaknesses to stealthily strike vital targets to bring enemies down before they know what hit them. Now, what makes the Stabbomancers who they are? What is specific to that class? The Stabbomancer specializes in critical hits and status effects. They're able to keep enemies guessing by alternating between guns, melee weapons and spells, all the while moving in and out of stealth to score guaranteed critical hits. Though fragile, the Stabbomancer can use their superior speed to evade damage and fire their guns while sprinting. Their class feat is called Dirty Fighting, and it lets the Fate Maker's critical hit chance increase. I mean, the critical hit chance is increased. That's pretty much what it is. By how much it doesn't say, I guess we'll see once we're in the game. Now, just like any other class, the Stabbomancer also has two action skills. The first one is Ghost Blade. And Ghost Blade does the following. The Fate Maker throws out the Ghost Blade which spins in place at target location, dealing melee damage periodically to enemies that are nearby based on the Fate Maker's equipped melee weapon. Pressing the action skill button while Ghost Blade is active causes it to teleport to the targeted location and reduces its remaining duration by a small percentage. So you can move it around to different location if your first target has died or first targets, but it will reduce the duration after the teleport. The other skill is from the shadows. The Fate Maker enters stealth, turning invisible. While in stealth, all damage dealt is automatically a critical hit, but critical hits deal reduced damage. And now let's talk a little bit about the passive skills of the Stabbomancer. Tier 1 has 3 of them. The first one, Arsenal, 5 points maximum investment in that skill. Melee damage is increased, spell damage is increased, gun damage is increased. Already at a good start, eh? The next one, Haste, 3 points max. Melee attack speed is increased, movement speed is increased. When you cast a spell, double this bonus for a duration. Potent Poisons, 5 points max. Status effect damage is increased, status effect duration is increased. Then, tier 2, there's 3 of them. Follow up, 3 points max. Whenever the Fate Maker deals gun damage to an enemy, increase the damage of your next melee attack. This effect can stack. Melee attacks consume all stacks. Swift Death, 5 points max. While moving, the Fate Maker gains increased damage dealt. The faster the Fate Maker moves, the greater these bonuses. Exploit their weakness, 3 points max. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect to an enemy, the affected enemy takes increased damage from all sources for its duration. This effect can stack per unique status effect. Tier 3, there's 2 of them. Nimble Fingers, 3 points max. Whenever the Fate Maker deals melee damage, their fire rate and spell damage are increased for a duration. Shadow Step, 1 point max, kill skill, meaning it triggers when you kill an enemy. The Fate Maker's next melee attack is a guaranteed critical hit for a short duration. Tier 4, there's 3 of them. Sneak Attack, 5 points max, critical hit damage is increased. Elusive, 1 point max. You can now shoot and sprint at the same time. Gain a chance to evade incoming damage while moving. The faster you move, the greater the chance. Contagion, 3 points max. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect, there is a chance it spreads to nearby enemies. If no enemies are nearby, deal a percentage of the status effect's total damage to the enemy instead. Tier 5, there's 2 of them. 1000 cuts, 5 points max. Critical hits grant the Fate Maker increased damage dealt for a duration. This effect can stack up to 10 times. Melee critical hits grant additional stacks. Alchemical Agent, 1 point max. Melee critical hits apply a random status effect. Tier 6, the Capstone, 1 point max. Executioner's Blade. So what does Executioner's Blade do? Gun and spell critical hits have a chance to create an ethereal blade above the target that will impale them after a short delay. Ethereal blades deal melee damage based on the Fate Maker's equipped melee weapon. Very interesting capstone. Again, maybe a spin to win build with this guy and the Berserker would be interesting, and this guy being the secondary maybe. I mean, there's some good setups I can think of. If you have some requests for help to help you with your build, with your starter build, so let's say you've picked class A, class B, or just class A, or just class B, and so on, whether you want class and subclass or just one class, let me know. If Stabbomancer or any of the other classes are what you want to play and you just need some ideas of where to put the skill points, which way to go, let me know in the comments. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. I'll do my best to give you some theory crafts for just the skill points. Again, this would be considering that I don't know what items exist in the game and what synergies there might be, but it could be some starting point that you could modify based on what would you get first and what would you get next. Keep in mind you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to not miss out notifications for more Wooter and not so Wooter content like this one or others like builds and guides. There's also memberships on my channel, which is a monthly recurring payment that you can cancel at any time, which will grant you access to special perks like emotes or badges made by me, as well as the option to ask me one-on-one for tutorials on Discord about Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects, just the basics though. Thanks again for watching all the way until the end. Struck weapon. Till next time and goodbye.